and welcome to the Momversation Club, the podcast born out of the idea that every mum needs a tribe. I'm Claire Strong.
And I'm Christina Struckmeyer. We're two moms just like you, navigating the chaotic, challenging, and often isolating world of motherhood.
Now, it's said that it takes a village to raise a child, but we want to know, where the F is that village?
It's a question that resonates with so many of us who find ourselves raising children, managing careers, and trying to maintain our own identities, often with a sense of isolation.
But we're here to remind you that you're not alone. The Momversation Club is your village, a place for you to feel valued, appreciated, and understood.
We believe that by sharing our own experiences, successes, and struggles, we can create a virtual village for all you amazing mamas out there.
So join us every week for raw, real, and relatable discussions about all aspects of motherhood, including the stuff you just can't talk about with anyone else.
So if you've ever asked yourself where the F is the village, then you found your tribe. So let's get into it.
Hi, Christina.
Hey, Claire. Good morning. How are you?
I am good. How are you doing? I like your hair today.
Thank you. I was just saying that it may appear to the YouTube audience that I have showered, but I will say I have not. This is dry shampoo. I use Dove brand. Shout out to Dove. If you want to sponsor us, that'd be great. But yeah.
Nice. I haven't
This is an illusion.
Well, you know, I've got to say, where would we be without dry shampoo? Seriously.
I don't know, girl.
I don't have time to wash my hair every other day. Absolutely not. So I wash it maybe twice a week and then dry shampoo the rest of the week.
Yeah, and then if it gets really bad, we do like a mom bun situation. Like it's on top of my head looking all crazy.
Yeah. That's funny.
Speaking of visuals, you, my friend, are in a new location for those who have the visual episode.
So this is so funny. So, okay, I'm going to be absolutely honest with you here. I am in my 13-year-old's bedroom. I've taken over her space. This behind me is her bookcase. And 10 minutes before we were due to record, I just cleared the books off there because they were all like tween, like romance and stuff. And I rearranged the flowers and the candles. And so, yes, so I'm really excited. The thing is with my house, I've got really high ceilings, so it's not great for recording. And this is a much better space because it's a small enclosed room and there's lots of nice light. So yes, so I am taking over my daughter's bedroom for recording.
I love it. Eva's got some great style. It's so breezy and fun.
I love it. I love this aesthetic. So yes. So I mean, I could say to you, I've created this posh recording studio, but in reality, it's my daughter's bedroom. So what are we talking about today, lady?
Oh my goodness. Well, I don't know if you've noticed this about me, but I feel very refreshed. Maybe the mental part is coming outward. I also have a new top.
I love
because thank you. I just got back from an amazing getaway to my best friend's house in Texas. And it was so fun. I took a whole weekend last weekend to just go by myself, like no family, no husband, just me, and hang out with her. And she was by herself because it's spring break and her kids were with her ex-husband. And so we had like this girls' weekend. It was freaking amazing. And so today I wanted to talk a little bit about me time because, man, did that me time make a huge difference to me this week.
I love it. I've seen the photos and videos, and you obviously had a blast. It's so great. It's so great.
So much fun.
So
yeah. No, it was great for a lot of reasons. We got to do a lot of fun things, but I think the biggest thing for me, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to bring this into today's topic, is I feel like I forgot what it was like to just be me. Like just me, not me the mom, not me the wife, not me the thing that I serve to other people, but like me, just essentially like the authentic version of me that gets buried each day with all the shit that we have to do.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that that's just kind of, reignited your spark. And I mean, how many times do we honestly get to totally unplug and not have to think about the kids, the house, your husband, what other stuff you've got going on in your life, work. I mean, it's so much. And to just have those days where you can just be you and not have to break off every 2 minutes to, please other people
Yeah.
or to help other people. That's just totally liberating.
Yeah, it got me thinking a lot about like just the way I'm showing up this week. Like I've noticed that since I took that time this weekend, I've just been a lot more pleasant to be around. Like I'm more patient, I'm more fun. And I'm like, how do I bring that into my day to day? Because people in my life, are getting a version of me that I would like to be.
So I was going to ask you this. So you went away for 3 days, had a great time. How different are you now, having had those 3 days away from your family? How did you interact with the kids differently, or your husband differently?
Well, the first thing is like the patience, like I mentioned. So, if there's a toddler tantrum going on or like, there's something needed of me that's a little bit more than usual, I'm a lot less prone to feel like this overwhelm already. Like, cause I feel like I felt like before I left, I felt like I was kind of like buried up to my nose in like sand. And I was just like, do not put anything else on me or I will be completely enclosed in this situation. I cannot take on anything else. And it was informing like everything I was doing. It was
Mm,
informing my reactions to invites to parties. It was informing the way I interacted with family. Like everything felt very at me.
mm-hmm.
And now that I've taken a little bit of time away and was able to just breathe and be me for a bit, I came back feeling, like my cup was full
Hmm.
and there was less inclination to like respond in that way because the sand's at my toes right now and not up to my nose and I have some time to refill it. I'm sure it'll get refilled soon, but like for now it feels really nice and I'm like how amazing. I wish that everyone who needs it could get this feeling.
So how often do you think in an ideal world you would have a few days away from the family in order to be able to restore yourself and reset?
Well, I was talking to my husband about this, and I don't know about like solo by myself stuff because I do enjoy company. Like, I
Mm,
had my best friend during this excursion, and that was really nice. And so it doesn't need to be completely alone, but I would love to do that at least once every few months. Like, it would be so
yeah.
nice, even if it's a day. Like, I was
Yes.
thinking, okay, maybe this summer we can go to the coast for a day or two and have my older daughter with her dad, and maybe the younger daughter can get babysitted um, and I know that that's really privileged. I know a lot of people cannot take that time. But I think in today's episode, we can talk a little bit about things that are more attainable for me time that can give you at least a little bit. Because, like I mentioned with that sand analogy,
Mm,
even if I were to go from my nose to my chin with the feelingness of buried, I think that that would make a difference. Like
mm,
just feeling less impacted by all the demands that life like takes when you're a mom.
mm.
What
How
about
would
you,
you?
Claire? Like, I know
Yeah.
you prioritize me time quite a bit in your life when
I
you can.
so I do. So my situation is this. So I obviously am a long way from home. My family are all back in the UK, and my in-laws live in Oklahoma, and we're here in California in San Diego. So we don't have any family around us. So and my husband is out at work all day long. So the kids and everything to do with the house, the dogs, all of that is down to me. And
Mhm.
so I don't have the luxury of necessarily being able to go away um on my own or with Kyle. Occasionally if my mom and dad are here, Kyle and I can get away for a couple of days. But usually it's a case that I need to be here. I mean, my husband travels a lot. He is away quite a lot with work, and then it's snowboarding season, so he's off snowboarding. And so I just have to keep the ship in order, as it were. So because of all of that, I need to do something on a daily basis or a near daily basis in order for me to feel, as you said, not as if I'm not drowning or I'm not overwhelmed. And so what I do, what works for me, is I go out for a walk every day. It could be a half an hour walk. It could be a 45-minute walk. We're lucky enough to live next to some fantastic canyons here, and so just being out in nature, and the weather's nice now. So even if you're in a place where it's not Southern California, and I understand that because I lived in England for over 30 years. But
Yeah, yeah.
it is, when the weather allows, I would really encourage you to, get outside and walk, and that really works for me. I love Pilates too. Right now, I'm not able to get to my studio, so I'm doing it in the house. But the other thing is, Christina, I sometimes think that if I don't do these things in the morning, quite often I never get to them, because then, my days, my window is between dropping the girls off and picking the girls up. But obviously in between that window, I'm having to work too. It's not that I'm just, relaxing and going out for 8 walks a day or something. So,
Yeah.
my
Yeah. You have
time,
this window.
yeah, I have this window. And so if I don't do it, after school drop off, I find very often that I don't get to do it later on in the day, because, I'm working, and then once I pick the kids up, that's it. I'm running them around everywhere. They're hungry. You know how it goes. And so
Totally.
what I would say to people who don't necessarily have the luxury, whether it's because of finances or, like me, they just don't have any practical support. If you can't physically get away for a few days, whether it's with a friend or your partner or whatever, just try to incorporate at least 5 days out of 7. Try and incorporate some me time. And you know what? It could be 10 minutes. It could be a 10-minute meditation. Another thing that's really working for me, I've started listening to positive affirmations on YouTube. And
You were saying that. So, like,
I
what does that
love
look like?
them. So I'm listening to a lot of I am affirmations. So, I am resourceful. I am capable. I am powerful. I am enough. I am a good mother. I am a great friend. And these things that, particularly for stay-at-home mums who don't necessarily have the, corporate world around them. So they maybe have a boss that's telling them they're doing great, or they're getting at least feedback. When you're predominantly a stay-at-home mum, or you're working for yourself, like you and I do, it quite often we're not necessarily surrounded by other people. And so I felt that I was very lacking in feedback. And honestly, the only feedback I tend to get, and I'm sure a lot of mums can relate, is negative feedback. Like, why haven't you done this?
Yeah.
Where's this? Oh my God, especially I've got teenage girls, so I'm always I'm always the worst mom in the world for something. And so I found with these positive affirmations, they're kind of filling the gap between me and maybe being in that, work environment where I'm getting feedback constantly, and positive feedback on how well I'm doing. So this is just, it's really impacted my psyche in a really good way. And the other thing it does, Christina, I feel protected. And the reason I say that is because because I've kind of restored my self-belief after 10 or 20 minutes of listening to these positive affirmations. I am then able to cope with more challenging situations in a calmer way, because
Yeah.
I'm imagining this bubble around me that's protecting me from negativity. And so the negativity cannot penetrate my bubble, because I have this bubble around me. So it's kind of mind games a little bit, but I would recommend it. Positive affirmations on YouTube. There are loads of
I
them. Yeah.
I love that, because here's the deal is, like, I remember when I was a first time mom and I wasn't, in this space that I am now, where I do have the structure and I do have the ability to step away. That wasn't always the case.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for a lot of women that isn't the case. Like, there's a lot of reasons why that might not be achievable. When I would hear of, like, oh, well, you have to take me time, you need to take care of yourself first, I would, like, roll my eyes. Like, with what time are you talking about? Because
Yeah.
I'm doing every single thing, and my time gets swallowed up every single day.
Yeah.
And so how am I to do that? Like, what goes away, what comes off the chopping block, if I take me time? And things like that don't take time away from anything else. Like, you can do that while you're doing something else. You can multitask. I mean, me time is more than, like, bubble baths and massages and pedicures. It can be things like this, or, like, even for me time is also saying no to things that are not
Yes.
going to be pleasant for
Yes.
me. I am the first to say no to like making Pinterest cupcakes, at the school when I can just buy them,
Yeah.
If it doesn't make a difference,
Yes.
I will do the easier route. And that is a gift to myself. Like
Yes.
that is another form of me time, of just like gifting myself the time it would have taken to do that thing if it's not necessary. So these like little
So
things you can kind of like scooch in here today without having to be, taking 24, 48 hours away from your like family.
yeah, and then the other thing that I'm realizing, and it's something I always felt I knew, but I don't think that it had fully permeated my brain, honestly. Your time is valuable. Now,
Mm-hmm.
so be careful how you spend it. You need to conserve your energy. And if your energy is being spent on things that frankly don't serve you, then don't do it. So that's
Yeah,
another thing
girl.
I'm learning. Be
Amen.
very careful with who and what you share your energy with, because your energy is very precious.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and one of the things that I also struggled with when I first started exploring the me time is just the selfishness I felt like it would take. I grew up, and I've shared a little bit about my childhood on here, but my mom had me really young, and she really threw herself into motherhood in a way where I felt like she sacrificed a lot of her life to be a mom. And I didn't just feel that, she would say and do things to echo that, right? Like it would feel like her identity was, I am a sacrificial lamb for you children. And it came out of a place of love, and it came out of a place of kind of a reaction to the way she had been her upbringing. But like I felt that. And so that in turn, and I think a lot of people have maybe some relationships like that, where you look at kind of old school parenting, and it's a lot of like mom eats last at the dinner table, mom sits down last, mom's way over here while everybody else gets to enjoy their life because that's the sacrifice of a mom. So to like take away time, take away in air quotes, from your family, for a lot of people feels selfish. Have you ever like experienced that, where it's like that pang of guilt, like when
Yeah,
you're just trying to take some time for yourself?
I have. I remember when Kyle and I if we do end up going for a weekend, say if my mum and dad are here, um I feel like I'm, oh God, I've got to arrange everything, everything's got to be done before I go, and then I'm checking in every 2 minutes. And I need to stop that, because there has to be, yeah, okay, there are practical things you may need to sort out, but there has to be a time when you are able to totally unplug, because being a mother is not everything that you are. Being a mother is part of who you are, but there are lots of these
Yeah.
other facets of you that really can get lost in motherhood. And so I just hope that our listeners take something from this, and if they do, it's just that you sounds cheesy, but you matter, and just taking 10
Yes.
minutes a day for yourself, I can't emphasize how important that is. I know someone close to me who has recently just gone on a 2-week retreat. This is someone who has basically had no time away from her children for the last 20 years. She's got an older
Wow.
child, and then some younger ones, and she is such a selfless mother. She's fantastic. She's my idol in lots of ways. But she recently did something that she's never done before. She recognized she was burnt out and overwhelmed, and she went to a retreat for 2 weeks, and she left her husband to deal with the kids, which is usually what she has to do. And she has just learned so much about herself. She did a lot of meditation, and she came back able to deal with the situation at home. And so, I mean, again, we all can't necessarily do that, but it's just an example of when you remove yourself from the situation, how much better you are when you return as well.
Absolutely. And something happened recently on social media that you and I saw. And I think it came as a reaction because so many people feel the need for that break and maybe have resentment towards people who get breaks, who are able to kind of get away, and that comes in the form of like some toxicity. I'm talking about there's a mom creator online. Her name's Diary of an Honest Mom,
Mm-hmm.
and she took a vacation away from her kids. And it was her and her husband. They went to Mexico, and it looked so fun. She was like sharing everything. Didn't it look so fun, Claire?
Oh, it looked fantastic. I was so pleased for her. I was like, there's some goals right there. I can't wait to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then so she was posting about the content, and I'm sure there was some part of it that was like sponsored content because it was like a lot about the hotel and things
Mm-hmm.
that she was doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but she was having a great time, and she was flooded with comments about like, where are your kids? And, kind of some pushback. Like you saw some comments. Like Claire, what did you see in the comment section of that post?
Yeah, it was just a lot of, oh, it must be nice. I could never do that. I don't have this or this in place. And there was just, in fact, one woman even said, I'm very pleased for you, but I admit I'm very jealous because this is something that's not available to me. And I think, and the Diary of the Honest Mom, Libby, I believe,
Libby Ward, yeah.
Libby Ward,
She's
yeah,
great.
she is great, and I would encourage you to follow her if you don't follow her. We really like Libby's content.
We love her.
We do. And I believe her husband's from the UK too, so we have a little bit of a crossover. So I always get a kick when a mother-in-law visits her because it's all very English. So
I didn't know that.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, she Libby responded. She was kind of really disappointed with these comments, and it was just disappointing to see that mums were not supporting a mom who was able to take a bit of a break from her kids. And so I think we need to realize that it's not a competition. What another mom's doing doesn't have to be what we're doing, and other people, their situations are different to ours. So instead of being jealous or bitter that person looks like they're going off every 2 minutes to a spa, or and if that's something that's not available to you, okay, recognize it, but then do something still within your control. You can still control a bit of me time, and it doesn't have to cost any money. And so,
I think also like just some self-reflection. Like if you're a mom who responds in any way towards another mom, I don't know about you, but I've over the last few years have learned a lot about myself. I've done a lot of therapy, a lot of growth work. And whenever I have a response to something, I might not immediately have the healthy response, but I do take some time to reflect and go, what is it about that situation that's hitting me this way? Or why am I responding this way? What about this is itching something in me that's creating this like maybe negative or weird response? And, I've seen that happen in my life. I've had, a friend, when I was getting married, she was in a really terrible relationship. And as I was getting happier and happier and her relationship was staying really negative, I felt some venomous strikes at my happiness because unaware to her, the anger of seeing someone do so well when you're doing so badly was there. And so I think as mothers, we just need to be a lot more supportive of other moms. And when you get the ick off something or when you're getting angry about something, just reflect, and I'm guilty of this with even the Pinterest cupcakes comment just a little bit ago. Shout out to the moms who do Pinterest cupcakes. Y'all are my heroes. That is not me. That is not my lane. Yeah. Mine look like that show on Netflix.
Which one?
Where it's like, oh gosh, I forget the name of it.
You mean it's really funny. I watch it with the girls. Oh God, what is it?
Nailed it.
I love that show. It is fantastic. It's so good. Oh, I'm the same. I could quite easily be a contestant on Nailed It.
They're so bad. And so, my little I'm not that mom is like because I can't be. I am not that talented at Pinterest cupcakes. So I buy mine because that's just my space. But just because one person is succeeding doesn't mean you're failing. And I think that a lot of moms just need to feel seen and heard. And sometimes that me time makes them feel like, hey, I'm a person too. Because it's not about me first. It's not this selfish thing of like, I am the one. It's me too. Like you just talked about your husband going on a snowboarding trip. And he has the same responsibilities. He has the same children as you. He's in the same household as you.
Yeah.
Yet he's going on that trip. Girl, me too.
Oh, I hear you. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
I am that situation is going to be changing in the very near future. I'll be posting some fun reels about my wonderful girly time in Palm Springs or wherever. Oh, don't worry.
Oh my gosh.
That's on my to-do list. Hey, but listen, I want to share one of my positive affirmations with you.
Okay, yes, please.
It really fits in with what we're talking about. And this is such a perfect one for me. So listen to this.
Okay.
I am calm and relaxed, knowing it will come. I am calm and relaxed, knowing it will come. And the reason why that's so poignant for someone like me is I'm very impatient. I want the thing done today. I need to be where, I dream to be today. And we all have our own time. The universe has its own time for us. So instead of feeling frustrated and as if like you're not enough because the person that you're looking at has got those things that maybe you want, be calm and relax and just know that it will come to you, and it will come to you, when the time's right and in whichever shape or form that is best suited to you. So I just thought I'd share that because it's kind of a little fitting with today's topic, and it's something I'm trying I'm learning that, but it's comforting. It's comforting.
It's true
to know that. Yeah, it is.
Because if you think about your life, like, and all the things anybody has gone through, you can point to things where you're like, man, I remember a time where I really wanted this to happen. I really wanted insert thing here to happen, but I'm so glad it didn't happen because here's what else happened instead. Or like, here's where that came in and I was in a much better place to receive that.
Yes.
Like there's a lot of instances where you're kind of grateful that it didn't happen when you first had that like exertion to go.
Well, hey, the Momversation Club wouldn't be a thing if it wasn't for my career taking a different path. I assumed that I would be a news anchor and reporter for the rest of my life. And, fate took me in another direction. And now we're here doing this and lots of other exciting projects. So just believe in the universe, guys. It doesn't work. I love that. It works. But listen, I would love for our listeners to share some things that you do when it comes to me time. How do you make time for yourself, and what do you do in that downtime?
Yeah. Maybe it's a few minutes. Like, what do you do in a few minutes? If maybe you have a half hour, an hour. Whew, if you had a full day, what would you do? Like the possibilities.
It would definitely involve going to a coffee shop for sure for me, or going out for lunch.
Oh yes.
I just live for food.
Who doesn't, Claire?
Love it.
Oh my goodness. So yes, share with us on social media, and be sure to tag hashtag Momversation Club when you share things that relate to us. We'd love to see it. And hopefully you can carve some me time out this week.
And that brings us to the end of another episode of the Momversation Club.
And if you've enjoyed today's show, which we hope you have, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a review. Your support helps us reach even more moms and build a stronger village.
Until next time, bye.